We jumped to topic number one here of the conversation tonight, and it was the thing that stunned everybody, including me. You know, I don't go to Piggly Wiggly often. You know, I don't shop at the Pig often, but went to Piggly Wiggly today, paid old Porky Pig a visit, and I go in there to get a good food plate for the family as we're shopping around in there. And across the ticker of the phone, it's, according to multiple reports out there, James Brockermeyer, Alabama offensive lineman, potentially starting center for Alabama, a young man of whom, from the second or third practice of spring ball to practice number 15, the A-Day game, was running with the first team offensive line. That James Brockermeyer put his name in the NCAA transfer portal with a do not contact tag by it. This came out today. Multiple reports. I'm thinking it's just crazy rumor happening going around, but several people started to pick up on it. And I'm like, on the day I pay Porky Pig a visit, this is what happens. On the day I go to Piggly Wiggly, this is what happens right here. You got James Brockermeyer putting his name in the NCAA transfer portal. And this one was shocking to me because of the fact, like as I mentioned, Brock had worked hard. Brock had worked his tail off. Here's a guy that came in the 2021 class from All Saints Episcopal High School in Fort Worth, Texas. He and his brother Tommy both came in the same class together. Tommy was the 5-star. Now, James was the better prospect than Tommy, but a lot of people felt like, Tommy's size, Tommy's athleticism, Tommy's star rating, he would get on the field quicker, he would get on the field earlier, but James would be the better prospect when it's all said and done. What ended up happening? James ends up transferring back home to TCU. I don't even think he plays ball anymore to this point. Tommy transfers back home to TCU. I don't think he plays ball at this point. James remained at Alabama. Even when, you had Coach Saban, the whole retirement thing back in January, James doesn't leave the program, sticks around, adds on weight, adds on muscle, picked up the offense extremely fast. Chris Kaplovich, offensive line coach, raved about James's intelligence and his IQ and how quickly he was eating through his offense and how exceptional he was as a player out there on the field. And you had a battle at that center position to start spring practice with Brockermeyer and Parker Brailsford. Brailsford comes in, transfer from Washington, helped the Huskies to a Pac-12 championship last season, a berth in the college football playoff national championship game. Brailsford played all 15 games a season ago, 13 of those as a starting center, helping the Huskies to the Joe Moore Award this past season. And so Parker Brailsford comes in, and everybody's like, well, he's definitely the guy. He's got to be the guy. He follows Kalen DeBoer to Washington. There is no doubt he has to be the guy, right? And that first day of practice for media viewing in March, I'm out there, and I'm seeing Parker Brailsford, big 72, running with the first team. But from practice 3 to 15, it's Brockermeyer out there running with the first team. And I know Brailsford had an off-field, non-football situation that happened. Kalen DeBoer talked about it. He's not transferring. He's not leaving. Just going through some things. He's a good kid. We'll have him back sooner rather than later. All of that conversation was happening right there. It's weird, right? Because I know prior to this with Brockermeyer, you had Curtis Perry, former 4-star, defensive lineman and in-state prospect who came in the 2022 class by the way of Pike Road High School, just kind of north there in that Montgomery area. You had Curtis Perry hit the portal at 6'2", 265 pounds. Now, Curtis Perry hitting the portal is not as shocking, right? You can basically say, maybe it was a lack of development where his body's concerned. Maybe he just didn't fit the mold of what Kane Womack wants to do. And this 4.25, maybe it just didn't pan out for Curtis. The defensive line rotation's deep right now, and Curtis just couldn't quite, crack his way in there. You hate it for him, but you could kind of make out Curtis Perry. But James Brockermeyer, this is like, he ran with the first team all spring. I was out there. I'm seeing this. He's out there with the first team. He's out there with Jayden Roberts and Tyler Booker on opposite sides of him at left and right guard. So this is different. This is different. This is weird. This was not expected, right? Not expected. And so with this happening to Brock, you've got Parker Brailsford and Rock Montgomery. Rock Montgomery, formerly known as Raquez McElderry, but Rock Montgomery, who can play guard, he can also play center. You got those two. And then we saw in the A-Day game where Joseph Ionata, a three-star in this recent 2024 class, got some work there at center. But Ionata is not comfortable there because he was recruited to play tackle, right? So with Brailsford and Rock Montgomery, you got two guys, but does Kalen DeBoer go into the portal to maybe pull one more guy with some experience depth at center? Because that's a position that you need. Seth McLaughlin, a good kid. But Seth McLaughlin gave US the Bama Nation a lot of PTSD last year for those snaps. And y'all are not trying to go through that again. I know you're not. You're not trying to go through that again. So while this is incredibly unexpected, I don't know what caused this to happen for Brockermeyer. I don't know. This is one of those things where I'm definitely going to do some digging and try to figure this out, because this was very shocking to me, especially after we saw for the majority of the spring, he was the guy running with the first team. But he's now in the portal, do not contact tag by his name.